Today we have two short Photopea lessons. We'll be working with this picture, one of my favorite Steve McCurry portraits, and then another photo that we've worked with before on the cutout Photopea lesson. We'll be doing something different to it today. For the first one, you need to open up the McCurry photo, and we're going to go to Filter, Liquify. We'll be working with many of these buttons today, but this assignment, you're going to work with the smudge tool. So choose the top left one that looks like a bunch of vertical squiggly lines. The smudge tool is very similar to like having a bunch of paint on a palette and then just taking your finger and just kind of moving the colors around. What this does, it's going to just kind of squish the pixels of the picture around. I want the mouse to be about the size of her nose. If you need to change the size of your mouse area, your selection area, the brackets next to your letter P on your keyboard are the shortcuts on how to change the size. If that's not working for you, this bar up here works fine too, but I tend to work more in shortcuts. So we're going to just do some funny things to this picture. This is supposed to be a fun assignment, and I'm going to grab her nose and I'm going to smudge that down. I'm going to give her some pointy ears just for fun. You can do anything you want to this picture. Just demonstrate that you know how to use the smudge tool. I'm going to give her some kind of like up eyebrows. You could even give her some horns if you wanted to. Just mush things around until it's obvious that you have smudge liquefied parts of the picture. You can do as little or as much as you want to. When you're finished, click OK, and then make sure you file, export as a JPEG, your edited version of this picture using the smudge tool under Liquify. For the next picture, we're going to use this photo again. This time we'll go to Filter, Liquify, just like we did in the beginning. I'm going to try and zoom out just a little bit so I can see more of her face. Control minus and Control plus or zoom in and out. Skip down a little bit. I would like to start with the tool called Shrink. In Photoshop, this one's called Pucker, but Shrink does the same thing. I'm going to click it, and I'm going to again start with her nose. I'm going to go with a smaller size brush here. You can change it here with your shortcut. And Shrink, like it sounds, whatever is in that selection area, it's going to squish it down. It basically takes the pixels and moves them towards the center. The opposite tool is called the blow tool. It's also called bloat in Photoshop. And what it does is it takes the pixels and moves them outward from the center. I'm going to use that on her eyes. I'm going to use these really big, kind of scary eyes. I'm going to give her some big old teeth. I know this girl, by the way. This is Hannah. She's now an elementary teacher, and she thinks this is hilarious when we do this to her picture. Nice and creepy. And then finally, I want you to use the twirl tool. For twirl, it works better if your selection area is much bigger. So I'm going to go pretty big. I'm going to go at least the size of her head, maybe a little bit bigger. And then click slowly. As you click, just like the tool sounds, it's going to twirl the image. You could even choose other parts of this picture and twirl them around. I can make the camera point downward. I can scroll down a little bit, and I can make her hand point upward. It basically just takes those pixels and, like it sounds, twirls them around. So now that she's nice and creepy and freaks everybody out, you can do as little or as much as you want to on this image, just as long as you use all three of them. Go through twirl, shrink, and blow. Once you're finished, click OK. You have a wonderfully creepy picture. File, export as a JPEG, and turn that in. Yours should not look exactly like mine. Yours should be your own creation.